Psifinity, Rhofinity, Psifinity, reversed dotted lunate sigmafinity, dotted lunate sigmafinity, reversed lunate sigmafinity, Schofinity, Kfinity, upsilon dialytic affinity, iota dialytic affinity, Gifinity, upsilonfinity, taufinity, omicronfinity, Zfinity, Nefinity, iodaffinity, thetafinity, edaffinity, zaffinity, epsilonfinity, betafinity, alphafinity, omegatonisfinity, upsilontonisfinity, omicrontonisfinity, iodotonisfinity, etiatonisfinity, epsilontonisfinity, alpha tonisfinity. Pamphylian digammafinity, never Pamphylian digammafinity, always Pamphylian digammafinity, forever Pamphylian digammafinity, giantfinite Pamphylian digammafinity, hugefinite Pamphylian digammafinity, superfinite Pamphylian digammafinity, hyperfinite Pamphylian digammafinity, megafinite Pamphylian digammafinity, gigafinite Pamphylian digammafinity, ultrafinite Pamphylian digammafinity, teraphinite Pamphylian digammafinity, supifinite Pamphylian digammafinity, hypifinite Pamphylian digammafinity, megafinite Pamphylian digammafinity, gigifinite Pamphylian digammafinity, terrifinite Pamphylian digammafinity, infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, enderfinite Pamphylian digammafinity, God infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, super even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, mega super even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, omega. Mega super even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, godly ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite Pamphylian digammafinity, a.g.u.o.m.s.e.m.g.e. finite Pamphylian digammafinity. Archaic sampaffinity, never archaic sampaffinity, always archaic sampaffinity, forever archaic sampaffinity, giantfinite archaic sampaffinity, hugefinite archaic sampaffinity, superfinite archaic sampaffinity, hyperfinite archaic sampaffinity, megafinite archaic sampaffinity, gigafinite archaic sampaffinity, ultrafinite archaic sampaffinity, teraphinite archaic sampaffinity, supifinite archaic sampaffinity, hypifinite archaic sampaffinity, megafinite archaic sampaffinity, gigifinite archaic sampaffinity, terrifinite archaic sampaffinity, infinite archaic sampaffinity, enderfinite archaic sampaffinity, God infinite archaic sampaffinity, Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, super even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, mega super even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, omega mega super even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, godly ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite archaic sampaffinity, a.g.u.o.m.s.e.m.g.e. finite archaic sampaffinity. Head affinity, never head affinity, always head affinity, forever head affinity, giantfinite head affinity, hugefinite head affinity, superfinite head affinity, hyperfinite head affinity, megafinite head affinity, gigafinite head affinity, ultrafinite head affinity, teraphinite head affinity, supifinite head affinity, hypifinite head affinity, megafinite head affinity, gigifinite head affinity, terrifinite head affinity, infinite head affinity, enderfinite head affinity, God infinite head affinity, Godder infinite head affinity, more Godder infinite head affinity, even more Godder infinite head affinity, super even more Godder infinite head affinity, mega super even more Godder infinite head affinity, omega mega super even more Godder infinite head affinity, ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite head affinity, godly ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite head affinity. A.g.u.o.m.s.e.m.g.e. finite head affinity. Unexfinity, never unexfinity, always unexfinity, forever unexfinity, giantfinite unexfinity, hugefinite unexfinity, superfinite unexfinity, hyperfinite unexfinity, megafinite unexfinity, gigafinite unexfinity, ultrafinite unexfinity, teraphinite unexfinity, supifinite unexfinity, hypifinite unexfinity, megafinite unexfinity, gigifinite unexfinity, terrifinite unexfinity, infinite unexfinity, enderfinite unexfinity, God infinite unexfinity, Godder infinite unexfinity, more Godder infinite unexfinity, even more Godder infinite unexfinity, super even more Godder infinite unexfinity, mega super even more Godder infinite unexfinity, omega mega super even more Godder infinite unexfinity, ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite unexfinity, godly ultimate omega mega super even more Godder infinite unexfinity. A.g.u.o.m.s.e.m.g.e. finite unexfinity. Dunexfinity, never Dunexfinity, always Dunexfinity, forever Dunexfinity, giantfinite Dunexfinity, hugefinite Dunexfinity, superfinite Dunexfinity, hyperfinite Dunexfinity, megafinite Dunexfinity, gigafinite Dunexfinity, ultrafinite Dunexfinity, teraphinite Dunexfinity, supifinite Dunexfinity, Hypophenite Dynixfinity, Megafinite Dynixfinity, Gigifinite Dynixfinity, Terrifinite Dynixfinity, Infinite Dynixfinity, Enderfinite Dynixfinity, God Infinite Dynixfinity, Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, more. Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, Super even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity, Godly Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Dynixfinity. A.G.U.O.M.S.E.M.G.E.Finite Dynixfinity. Triunixfinity, never Triunixfinity, always Triunixfinity, forever Triunixfinity, Giantfinite Triunixfinity, Hugefinite Triunixfinity, Superfinite Triunixfinity, Hyperfinite Triunixfinity, Megafinite Triunixfinity, Gigafinite Triunixfinity, Ultrafinite Triunixfinity, Terrafinite Triunixfinity, Supifinite Triunixfinity, Hypophenite Triunixfinity, Megafinite Triunixfinity, Gigifinite Triunixfinity, Terrifinite Triunixfinity, Infinite Triunixfinity, Enderfinite Triunixfinity, God Infinite Triunixfinity, Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, Super even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, Godly Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunixfinity, A.G.U.O.M.S.E.M.G.E.Finite Triunixfinity. Unix Circledfinity, never Unix Circledfinity, always Unix Circledfinity, forever Unix Circledfinity, Giantfinite Unix Circledfinity, Hugefinite Unix Circledfinity, Superfinite Unix Circledfinity, Hyperfinite Unix Circledfinity, Megafinite Unix Circledfinity, Gigafinite Unix Circledfinity, Ultrafinite Unix Circledfinity, Terrafinite Unix Circledfinity, Supifinite Unix Circledfinity, Hypophenite Unix Circledfinity, Megafinite Unix Circledfinity, Gigifinite Unix Circledfinity, Terrifinite Unix Circledfinity, Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Enderfinite Unix Circledfinity, God Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Super even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, Godly Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Unix Circledfinity, A.G.U.O.M.S.E.M.G.E.Finite Unix Circledfinity. D-Unix Circledfinity, never D-Unix Circledfinity, always D-Unix Circledfinity, forever D-Unix Circledfinity, Giantfinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Hugefinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Superfinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Hyperfinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Megafinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Gigafinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Ultrafinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Terrafinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Supifinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Hypophenite D-Unix Circledfinity, Megafinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Gigifinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Terrifinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Enderfinite D-Unix Circledfinity, God Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Super even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Mega Super even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, Godly Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite D-Unix Circledfinity, A.G.U.O.M.S.E.M.G.E.Finite D-Unix Circledfinity. Triunix Circledfinity, never Triunix Circledfinity, always Triunix Circledfinity, forever Triunix Circledfinity, Giantfinite Triunix Circledfinity, Hugefinite Triunix Circledfinity, Superfinite Triunix Circledfinity, Hyperfinite Triunix Circledfinity, Megafinite Triunix Circledfinity, Gigafinite Triunix Circledfinity, Ultrafinite Triunix Circledfinity, Terrafinite Triunix Circledfinity, Supifinite Triunix Circledfinity, Hypophenite Triunix Circledfinity, Megafinite Triunix Circledfinity, Gigifinite Triunix Circledfinity, Terrifinite Triunix Circledfinity, Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Enderfinite Triunix Circledfinity, God Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Super even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity. Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, Godly Ultimate Omega Mega Super even more Godder Infinite Triunix Circledfinity, A.G.U.O.M.S.E.M.G.E.Finite Triunix Circledfinity. EXSTNSFNITY, Infinitalfinity, Omegfinity, Philofinity, Pedalfinity, Kilofinity, Giantfinity, Superfinity, hyperfinity, megafinity, gigafinity, ultrafinity, terafinity, unreliafinity, in excess affinity, cardinalfinity, ultimate rebirthfinity, neverfinity, alwaysfinity, foreverfinity, breakfinity, lastfinity, multifinity, unknownfinity, impossiblefinity, ultimafinity, truefinity, unbreakable cardinalfinity, and now, Endingfinity.